Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very well. In today's video I'm going to be talking about my top 5 things that I like to listen to while I sew. For anyone that knows me, I'm not really one to sit in silence while I work. I always have music on in the background or podcasts. I've gotten very into podcasts lately over the last couple of years. So I'm going to list out basically the podcasts and music playlists that I like to listen to while I work, because I just can't work in dead silence. And I will link all the podcasts that I listen to down below in the description in case you guys want to give them a listen. Any ones that I list now in a minute, I definitely recommend. They're very entertaining. So I'll link them down in the description, and as always, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. So in terms of music, what I like to listen to is my Spotify playlists or my YouTube mixes that you know the ones that YouTube make for you, and they are usually laced with copious amounts of Lana Del Rey and Motionless in White, and a little bit of Lizzo sprinkled in there as well. It's just I know it's a really strange mix, but that's the kind of music that I like to listen to in the background while I work. It just keeps me going for some reason. And I really like Lana Del Rey and Motionless in White in general. I think like they would be a lot of what I would listen to on the regular. So I like to have a playlist going in the background that I don't really have to get up and skip ads for. And YouTube, you do have to skip ads a lot for them, but it's not any better on Spotify because I won't pay for Spotify Premium. I'm a bit of a cheap one. I feel like I have better things to be spending my money on than music. So in terms of podcasts, the first podcast that I listen to that I'm going to recommend is Welcome to Night Vale. Now, I've been listening to this since I was about 18 years old, 17 or 18 years old, and it's really weird. It's a little bit trippy, but it's very entertaining. It's like a fictional radio show. So it's done through the narration of a radio station in Night Vale. And if you like kind of ASMR and soothing voices, Cecil's voice is very relaxing and soothing because it's very like deep and smooth and just nice to listen to. And I need to catch up because I've kind of fallen out of listening to it in the last few weeks with like work, and especially when I was back in college, like I didn't really get to listen to a lot of the episodes, so I really need to catch up on that. But it's really nice to listen to in the background. The only thing that I would say about it is because it's like an ongoing story, sometimes over the noise of the machine I have to go back and rewind because I've missed like a plot point, but it's still really nice to listen to. The second podcast that I'm so excited about because it's coming back for season 4 now in the new year is Wooden Overcoats, and it is basically a story about two rival undertakers in rival funeral homes in the village of Piffling Vale. It is hilarious. I love the voice acting. It's so immersive, and I'm so heavily invested in it, and I'm very upset that season 4 is going to be the last ever season. I genuinely want it to go on forever because I love it so much. It just cheers me up on a day. Like it's the first and probably only podcast that I've ever listened to all the way through and then gone back and started it again because I missed it that much while it was on hiatus. And it's just all the characters are so well fleshed out, and they all have like their own unique thing going on. And I think definitely my favorite character in the entire show is Antigone. She's the mortician, and she's just really depressed and like gloomy all the time. And she has like these iconic lines like, "Have you ever smelled a dead body, Rudyard?" And it's just like, where else will you hear the words "have you ever really smelled a body" without it being in a really sick, perverse way? Because that's the way the world has gone, and that's the way the internet has gone. The internet is just full of perverts. But it's definitely a fantastic listen, and I couldn't recommend it more if I tried. And it is one of the things that I just genuinely love to listen to while I'm working. And then the third podcast that I really like to listen to is Love to Sew podcast, and it is made by these two absolutely lovely Canadian ladies called Helen and Heather, and they are just so bubbly. And because it's a podcast all about sewing and different aspects of sewing and dressmaking and pattern drafting, it really gets you in the mood to keep going, and it helps me like stay motivated, because it takes this really stressful process, and sewing can be really stressful, especially when it all goes wrong. But it can take like this really stressful kind of mind-boggling process and make it really fun and wholesome. And that's the kind of thing that I need, because I tend to, if things start going wrong, I tend to lose a lot of confidence in myself, and it gets thrown in the box of shame, and I give up for a while, and I don't want to sew anymore. So these two ladies have collectively helped me stay on track with that and given me the motivation to just keep going. Plus there's some really helpful tips on sewing on it, like depending on each episode. Like they did a whole episode on interfacing, and just sewing hacks as well, like little things that just make the process easier. It's just really nice to listen to while you're working, because you're picking up all this extra information, you're hearing from other creators, you're hearing their up and coming stories. It's a good mindset to be in while you're trying to work as well. Oh, it's gone really dark. Hang on, I'm gonna turn on the light. It's gone, like, I know you can tell by the lighting that today is just a fucking miserable day. It's really rainy, it's cloudy, it's dull. It's winter in Ireland, so what can you expect other than dark, dank and miserable? But anyway, back to the topic at hand. The last podcast that I like to listen to when I sew, lately anyway, because obviously over time you're gonna amount other things that listen to, but this is the top 5. So the last one that I'm going to recommend is Critical Role, because I for one like to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's something that I wish I could play more of and more regularly, because the more I see other people playing it and the more I play it myself, the more I just want to get more into it and do it more regularly. But for anyone who has played Dungeons and Dragons before, you know that it's very time consuming. The average session can be about 4 hours, and obviously if you're working and stuff, it can be very hard to schedule in Dungeons and Dragons with all your friends, because everyone's off on different days. But Critical Role, because I'm rambling, Critical Role is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, and the players are voice actors from America. And the best thing about Critical Role, aside from the amazing storyline, the character progression, the voices, all I have to say is, in terms of voice acting, Matt Mercer as Victor, the black powder salesman, Oscar worthy. It's Oscar worthy. There is no better voice transformation than seeing dreamy American Matt Mercer go to Victor, the creepy like black powder salesman. It's iconic. But aside from all the amazing voice acting and all that, the best thing about listening to Critical Role while you're working is each episode is roughly about 3 to 4 hours long, so you can just set it and forget it. You don't have to get up and change your song, you don't have to get up and change your episode. You can just let it run through for your whole 4 hours. You can be sewing away, working away while you're there, and you don't even have to get up and look at your phone. It's just playing in the background. You can get immersed in the story, get immersed in your work, and you don't have to be up and down changing songs and episodes. And that's really nice, because sometimes, well, for me anyway, because I can be a ridiculous procrastinator, is that I'm procrastinating standing, scrolling, trying to pick a song, because you're never going to be in the mood for the same playlist all the time, or you're going to be in the mood for that one song but you're not quite sure what it is yet. So at least with Critical Role, it's part of a story, so The episodes are, like I said, 4 hours long. You can just hit play and you don't have to go near your phone again for another 4 hours, unless of course someone rings you or whatever, but that's a given. But anyway, that's what I like to listen to when I sew. If you have anything that you like to listen to when you work, please comment below. I'd love to hear. Maybe we can make a master playlist of just work entertainment. So stuff that you can just throw on in the background while you're working. We can have a master list. We can all share our music, our podcasts, and then we all have a go-to then for something new and different and nice for when we go to sit down and do some work or studying. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I love to hear from you guys as well. And if there's any videos you want specifically in the future, by all means send me a comment or a message, and if I'm able to do it, I will definitely do it. And I'm going to leave this video here because I'm starting to ramble a little bit. But as always, take care of yourselves and have a really nice day. Bye guys!